Sigmund Freud.
And as you can see, there is the aforementioned. And I've got to get all the mics on. It would always help. It always helps to have all the mics on. Jaybird Wells, the big star. And the Midwest Mangler, Lance Chafin, is going to be joining us maybe very soon. Who knows? We were going to be talking about Grex. We're talking to Grex. But Grex rescheduled for next Sunday.
There's going to be a whole bunch of rappers here.
See, I thought there was going to be rappers. I thought there were going to be porn stars. I thought Michael Nagy was calling in on Skype, and I was going to be able to, like, go, oh my God, it's Michael Nagy. Man, I think I don't know. I think somebody popped my shoulder out of place yesterday at that seminar. Good Lord. That's why I don't do jiu-jitsu. That's like I like boxing and punching people in the face. Let's see. Last night, they had the PCW out at the mall. And the Hutch Mall. And last night, Lance Chafin made his arrived in the building with his MWE crew. That was quite fun. And let's see, what else? Flex Reed was there, but I didn't get a chance to do a promo with Flex Reed.
Who's Flex Reed?
Flex Reed, the big star. He is the guy who constantly says, keep it flexy. Because he's going to keep it flexy. I don't know. Something. And then Mr. Fitness 2 was there with his golden shake weight. And he took on that dastardly Kenny Zombie Jones. Which, I don't know why. When did I start healing out on Kenny Zombie Jones? That's my question. When did I start healing out on Kenny? I always liked Kenny. Kenny slept on my couch in Salina for several years.
It's almost like
Kenny's a friend of the program. We love Kenny.
It's like I haven't been gone. It's like it's just yesterday we were talking about Kenny Zombie Jones. I mean, it's just old times.
You're back, and we've got new headphones and all sorts of stuff, and it's cool.
Nice.
And the headphones are labeled, so I know who's messing with what and what's messing with who and all this stuff, and let's see. So we had that. And then also last night, which I thought was very entertaining, and it was very good on their part, on PCW's part, I had promised an invasion. I had said that, I was going to show up, and I was going to have a bullhorn, which is over there on the desk. I was going to have a bullhorn, and I was going to be yelling and screaming about things, and I was going to have my pink cowboy hat and my weird furry jacket that doesn't fit me because I bought it from somewhere in Japan where Japanese people are so tiny and the sizing is all off.
Yeah, and it's the We Fit, right? We Fit says that I'm obese.
That's the thing. The sizing is totally off this jacket. Crystal says I look like a penguin when I wear the jacket.
And does it look like is it a suit?
I walk like this. I walk like this. So, and then of course at that point, and I don't know why, but when I see Jay's head moving back and forth like that, and I think of the penguin, I think of now walk it out, now swab it. Okay. But,
yes, I wrote a song that never got published.
But, it just gets in your head.
I changed it, and I still haven't re-recorded it.
So we have that. And, let's see, but what I thought was great was I promised an invasion, and, when I showed up, they had, James Underwood, a.k.a. The Preacher, not to be confused with the Preacher Bench. He had to come up and defuse the situation, where he was talking to me and I was talking to him and we're buddies and all this stuff, which we're buddies. I don't have a problem with James, even though last week he didn't like the fact that I put a post up about Shane Garrett, who is a professional wrestler from Texas, I believe. Shane Garrett wrestled in Salina at an XWE show just last weekend. And after the show, he got picked up for going the wrong way on a one-way road.
What?
A lot of pot in the car, some drug paraphernalia, and some other things. And it got posted on the Salina Post website, and someone sent me a screenshot. And so I posted it. Now, I don't have a problem with Shane Garrett, and Shane Garrett doesn't hardly know me. I think I've talked to him once, maybe at a World Wrestling Express show.
You were just sharing news.
I was just sharing news, and on top of that, okay, hold on a sec. Michael Nagy is checking in with me. He just sent me a Facebook message. He said, not sure I want to, but right now, looking at houses, since I have 20 days to find a place to live, we'll call if able.
Okay.
So he's going to buy a house in Jersey. But I thought he was moving back to Kansas, so I don't know. But Shane Garrett is a guy who is a professional wrestler from Texas. I think I've talked to him maybe twice in my entire life, and at various wrestling shows and things. And this guy was on the local police blotter, as they used to say. And what I was going to do was I was hoping he was booked last night, and I was going to have my pink cowboy hat, I was going to have all my stuff on, and I was going to walk up to him, and I was going to be like, oh my God, if it isn't Shane Garrett, star of stage and screen, oh, or the local police blotter. But he wasn't there, so I didn't get the chance to do that. And most of the wrestlers, which I thought was great, I think they were told in the back by PCW folks not to approach me and not to talk to me. And then there were certain ones that are just like, I'm going to go talk to Jiggy, I don't care. And one of them being Kenny, one of them being Mr. Fitness 2, and various people like that. And then at the end of the show, after everything was over with, they all came up to me and they all started talking to me and everything. And it was just like old home week. Not a big deal. Well, what was funny was the entire week, I had been throwing them off the trail. I had been posting online about an invasion, and I was going to do all these things, and there was going to be all these things happening. And then, at the very last minute, one of the things that happened, which I think is hilarious, I had hatched a plan last week. When the Mangler was on this radio show, I said, hey, you ought to go to this show on Saturday. And he goes, I'm not going to that. And I said, yes, you should. And he goes, well, what would I do? And he was like, I'm going to show up dressed as security. And I said, perfect. So when they walk up to you and they say, well, what are you doing dressed as security? You can look at them and say, what are you doing dressed as pro wrestlers? So then...
They can sell separate t-shirts. They can tell the difference.
I'll tell you, they had the mall security. I'll tell you, mall security was shorter than Jay in stature. They were Crystal is taller than mall security, and she's 8. And so I really don't think mall security was going to do much to stop Mangler if he decided he really wanted to get in there.
It's a professional tattletale.
So the security. What did you say about me? You're taller than security, Crystal. I guarantee you. You're taller than the mall security. If mall security would have given you a problem, you'd have taken care of the issue. So, but essentially what happened is we got done with everything, and it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a good show. They did what they needed to do. They had a good crowd, even though it was a free show at the mall on a Saturday night, and wrestling hasn't been in Hutch in like 6 months, so people were kind of desperate for entertainment. But it was a good show. I'm still trying to figure out when American Fitness is going to show up. Because I saw on their Around the Ring show that American Fitness was going to make his debut in PCW, and I still have yet to see American Fitness. I was hoping that Mr. Fitness 2 was going to hit Kenny Zombie Jones so hard he was going to knock him back 5 years and screw up the timeline. And Kenny would be back living on my couch. And Marsha would be back at Access. Ross would be living in Salina. I would still be living in the treehouse apartment. Let's see, what else? Kenny would be sleeping on my couch. Shatner would still be around. Burgess wouldn't have beat his wife yet. There was all sorts of things.
I wouldn't have been here.
You wouldn't have been here because this wouldn't have existed. It would have been somebody else paying the bill so people can do their laundry. There is all sorts of things going on. I wouldn't have this purple pen that I have in my hand right now.
I want a purple pen.
There would be nothing going on. No Mangler yet. We wouldn't have met the Mangler. Mr. Fitness 2 essentially could have screwed up the entire timeline.
Okay, let's get back to this dimension.
But it was a good show, and I'm, you know what I think is really funny, and this was something that the great Merrick McMichaels mentioned to me. He said, you know, XWE and PCW and all these guys were so concerned about me, the Natester, and Jimmy the Funk, and JT Money showing up that they forgot about they also have other enemies. So they were kind of freaked out when the Mangler showed up. But that is that. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to figure it out. We may... Let's see, what is this? I don't know what the hell that is. But we are going to figure out what the hell we're going to do. We're going to find... maybe the Midwest Mangler will have shown up by then. Maybe he'll be here and we can really do some chit-chatting.
So I can't teach everybody how to twerk?
You can teach people how to twerk. You can teach people how to nay-nay if you'd like. I don't know what that is. But apparently that's what's hot in the streets, according to Mike Game. You know, speaking of Mike Game, is Mike Game... Let me see here. I think Mike Game would probably be working today, so I don't think we'll bother him. But the great Michael Game, he was supposed to be here yesterday, and then he was going to be here today.
I guess we could call my parrot and talk to my parrot.
We could call and talk to a parrot. That would be awesome. I've interviewed chairs with no people in them.
Really?
I've interviewed all sorts of things. I've never interviewed a parrot.
Really?
I think I should interview a parrot. But she is going to make some phone calls, try to find a parrot, and we are going to take a break when we come back, and more on the other side. That's awesome. I'm going to call and talk to a parrot.
Jiggy Jaguar.
Hennessy.